How did perspective painting first develop in art history? Have you ever wondered how artists managed to create the illusion of depth on a flat canvas? The journey of perspective painting is fascinating and reveals much about our artistic evolution. The development of perspective painting began as an effort to representing three-dimensional space realistically on a two-dimensional surface. Early attempts to create depth can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome. Artists experimented with illusionistic techniques and converging lines to suggest depth. For instance, Roman frescoes from the 1st century before Christ show some understanding of converging lines and spatial projection. However, these techniques were localized and lacked a formal mathematical system. During the medieval period, art took a different direction. It was largely symbolic and hierarchical. Size and placement reflected importance rather than spatial reality. Figures were often scaled according to their religious significance. This approach limited the use of realistic depth in artwork. The true breakthrough in perspective painting occurred during the Italian Renaissance in the 14th and 15th centuries. The Florentine architect Filippo Brunelleschi is credited with formulating the first geometrically based system of linear perspective around the year 1415. He demonstrated how parallel lines converge at a single vanishing point on the horizon line. This method created a convincing illusion of depth on a flat surface. Soon after, painters began to adopt Brunelleschi's principles. One notable example is Masaccio, whose fresco, The Tribute Money, created around the year 1426–27, applied these principles to achieve spatial realism. This innovation marked a milestone in art history, providing artists with a reliable method to depict space and form accurately. The system of linear perspective became foundational during the Renaissance. It was further refined and widely used by Baroque painters such as Caravaggio, Rubens, and Velázquez. This technique continued to influence art through movements like neoclassicism and impressionism. As we approached the late 19th century, artists like Paul Cézanne began to challenge the strict rules of classical perspective. They experimented with multiple viewpoints and geometric simplification. This experimentation paved the way for modern art movements that questioned traditional representation. In summary, perspective painting first developed through a gradual evolution from early illusionistic attempts to a formalized mathematical system during the Italian Renaissance. Filippo Brunelleschi's discovery of linear perspective was a key historical milestone that transformed the artistic depiction of space. This innovation shaped the trajectory of Western art and remains fundamental to visual representation today.